In 1975, Julie Cunningham was simply a kind soul wanting to help a man having difficulty with his crutches in Vail. She bore a striking resemblance to several of Ted Bundy's identified victims: young, slim, attractive, and white, with flowing brown hair. The evening of March the 15th, 1975, brought an unsettling mystery as Julie Cunningham disappeared. The young woman, known for her part-time role as a ski instructor, left her apartment in Vail, Colorado's Apollo Park neighborhood, heading to a local tavern. That night marked the end of her story. She was never seen or heard from again. When Julie Lyle Cunningham disappeared, she was juggling her job at a ski shop with a part-time position, having called the Vail area her home for several years. On the night of her disappearance, she planned to meet her roommate at a nearby bar, just a short walk from her apartment. However, her friend reported that Julie never arrived. On Saturday, March the 15th, 1975, Bundy made his way into the picturesque ski town of Vail, Colorado, driven by a sinister desire to locate his next target. By then, it had been more than 2 months since he had savagely assaulted and taken the life of Karen Campbell in Aspen. As a result, the sinister desires that motivated his actions were creeping back, lurking just beneath the surface. After he arrived in Vail, he parked his Volkswagen Bug in the Lion's Head parking lot near I-70. He took care to place his crowbar on the ground behind the car, making sure it was not easily visible. With his trap all set, he took hold of a pair of crutches and a boot bag, then set off toward the bustling downtown shopping area. One of Bundy's preferred strategies was to pretend he was injured. He often lingered in busy areas, waiting for the perfect opportunity to spot a potential victim. At that juncture, he would shuffle toward the woman, simulate the act of dropping whatever he was holding, and graciously ask for her support. Should they fall for the lure, he would try to guide them toward his Volkswagen. On the other hand, if they politely declined and kept moving, he would stay courteous and bide his time for the next chance. It was only a matter of time before he found himself entangled with someone in Vail. A young brunette walked his way as he stood near the covered bridge by Gore Creek Drive, her approach impossible to ignore. The woman at the center of the story was Julie Cunningham, a 26-year-old ski instructor en route to a nearby bar to rendezvous with a friend. Seeing Bundy struggle on his crutches whilst attempting to juggle his boot bag, Cunningham could not help but feel sympathy and offered her help. What she did not realize was that she had just come face to face with one of America's most dangerous serial killers. Bundy warmly accepted her invitation, and as they strolled through the streets of Vail, heading west, they engaged in light conversation on their way to the Lion's Head car park. During his confession in 1989, Bundy mentioned that he had walked for more than a half a mile before they eventually reached his Volkswagen. The moment they arrived at the car, he pulled out the crowbar he had stashed away and struck Cunningham on the head, knocking her out cold. He swiftly loaded her into his vehicle, cuffed her hands, and took off westward on I-70, making his way to the small town of Rifle. An hour into their trip, Cunningham regained awareness and began to interrogate Bundy. She desperately requested that he loosen the handcuffs binding her. Considering she had just been struck on the head with a crowbar, it is likely she was injured, bewildered, and experiencing a profound sense of shock. After reaching Rifle, Bundy left the interstate behind and made his way north on State Highway 13, heading toward the small town of Meeker. He was now on high alert, searching for a secluded side road to utilize. Before long, he came across a dirt road and decided to turn onto it. Upon pulling over and getting out to check the area, he was shocked to find that Cunningham had somehow freed herself from the handcuffs and was trying to make a run for it. A brief altercation ensued between them, culminating in him striking her on the head with a crowbar, causing her to lose consciousness for the second time. Afterward, he collected some cords from his car, and as she lay there, he cruelly strangled her to death. About 6 weeks later, he went back to the crime scene to inter her body and ensure that no traces of his actions remained. In January of 1989, Bundy revealed that he was responsible for Cunningham's murder. He pointed out the area where he claimed to have buried her, but unfortunately no sign of her has been found. To this day, she is still officially listed as missing. Bundy exhibited sociopathic tendencies, showing no regard for the warmth or kindness of his victims. To him, they were simply tools for his own pleasure and satisfaction. Following the tragic murder, Bundy is said to have taken Cunningham's belongings back to Utah, where he donated them to a charity store in Salt Lake City. This raises the unsettling possibility that someone could have been wearing the clothes of one of his victims without realizing it. As we remember Julie Cunningham, we honor her life and the dreams she held dear. Julie was more than a victim. She was a daughter, a friend, and a vibrant soul whose light was extinguished far too soon. Her story is a reminder of the importance of compassion, vigilance, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Let us not forget Julie and the countless others who have suffered. May their memories inspire us to create a safer world for everyone.